And just like that, comedy started being funny again. Welcome everyone to the first truly naked watch party.
Oh yeah.
It's been an astute observation of the plainly obvious that comedy has really fallen by the wayside in recent years. The movies have disappeared from the theaters and there aren't much on streaming either. It's not really a secret as to why, by social justice warriors, did a haymaker on the genre. It's not just that humor at someone's expense, which comedy often is, was off limits. It's that offending the wrong group would lead to the hate swarm. Stand-up comedians talked about this extensively, and while filmmakers and executives didn't outright announce as much, it was clear just in the movies coming out that what was going on. Now enter one of the few people left in Hollywood who has immunity to that sort of bullshit. I don't fully know Seth McFarland's contribution to this movie as a producer, but if anything, he at least provided cover for director Akiva Schaffer and his writers to make a genuinely funny movie. How refreshing. Naked Gun may be the first seriously funny wide-release comedy this decade, which is extra sad considering we're already 5 years into it. Now, if I'm being completely honest, it doesn't quite match the originals, but then it never really had to. It's a new take for a new era. Liam Neeson is about as perfect as you can find as a replacement for the legendary Leslie Nielsen. Yeah, that they have actually the same initials is almost a little too symbolic. Moreover, it puts Liam Neeson on a similar career path. He was a serious actor and Academy Award winner who became the wise teacher and then had a new boom as an action star. Now late in his career, he's taking on comedy much the same way Leslie Nielsen became a comedic actor after years of playing serious roles. And by the way, Liam Neeson's action role started with the massive 2008 hit Taken. That movie was written by one Robert Mark Kamen. Robert Mark Kamen, of course, wrote the original Karate Kid trilogy. That trilogy spawned the spin-off Cobra Kai, which would eventually co-star Paul Walter Hauser, who is also in this movie as Ed, the son of the original Captain Ed Hocken. Be sure to like and subscribe for more Cobra Kai connections to everything. Actually, speaking of Paul Walter Hauser, one critique I do have of the movie is that it seriously underuses him. He's a comedic mastermind and totally talented.
Guess you really can't fight City Hall, huh?
No, it's a building.
He had a lot of potential in the role, but I feel like he's mostly in the background. I mean, on some level, that was where the original character was as well, but there could have been some more material with him. That said, I'm glad he was in the movie and he's still a bright spot. The plot, such as it is, involves a bank heist that was actually a secret ruse to get the plot device, some sort of machine that will broadcast hypnotic mind control signals from every person's cell phone, thus giving main bad guy Richard Crane total world domination. I mean, it's about as straightforward a plot for a movie like this can be. On some level, the plot of any screwball comedy is only a vessel to deliver jokes. At least that's what the conventional wisdom is. The old trio, Zucker, Abrahams, and Zucker, did always say you needed some sort of coherent story to keep the audience invested. One of these days, I'll have to look into that further. That said, the movie probably doesn't have the strongest story, but it's certainly good enough. Part of the plot involves Drebin having to investigate a seemingly unrelated death in a car accident, which brings him into contact with the sister of the dead man, Beth Davenport, played by Pamela Anderson. Now, I'm someone who has openly admitted I'm not generally in tune with actors. I didn't pay attention to who was in this movie other than Neeson and Paul Walter Hauser, and I've always been bad at remembering faces. I say that to admit I didn't even recognize Pamela Anderson through the entire movie and only realized it was her during the end credits. Now that may seem strange, I'm known as a guy who catches everything, but in my defense, she doesn't look the way most guys would remember her. Though, to be honest, I never watched Baywatch. I did like her in Stacked, a show which had more potential than I was ever able to realize. I'm probably the only one anywhere who remembers this show. Anyway, with less emphasis on her usual assets, Anderson's comedic ability really comes through. She may not be receiving any awards, but she can definitely carry her own amongst high-profile co-stars. It's really a credit to her, and I'm interested where her career can go from here. Perhaps the biggest recommendation I can make is to say the movie is just a bunch of fun. It's okay to laugh again. That is a weird thing to say because, as you millennials and Gen X will remember, the last time anyone talked like that was after September 11th.
It says you served 20 years for man's laughter.
You mean manslaughter?
Must have been quite the joke.
But for so long, comedies have walked on tiptoes. This is like the comedy of your youth, the stuff you grew up on. I'm not sure how much the Gen Z crowd will enjoy it, though apparently my older nieces and nephews did. That said, this is the best nostalgia for millennials and Gen X. I grew up on Naked Gun and all the Zaz comedies. It helped define my sense of humor, literally, which carried through to this channel. It makes it all a little more personal for me. If you enjoyed the originals, I think you owe it to yourself to check this one out. Hollywood is far from perfect and doesn't always respond to market forces. That's why Critical Drinker and so many reactionary critics have gotten so big. But the least you can do is give a little nudge to those market forces. See a movie you'll actually enjoy and don't think about it any deeper. To do that would be an insult to the genre. Okay, I mean, you could say the movie is a cautionary tale about the power of technology and to control people by what they receive from the phones, and you would be right, but like, just enjoy the movie, people. Have a great day. I'll see you at the next watch party.